In this video, we are addressing all the common mistakes I see a lot of Apple Watch users make. And so, for those who are new, my name's Eddie, and I'm just a consumer. But the thing I like to do is document my work and post them online. Think of me like a Yahoo Answers type of thing. That's basically what we do on this channel. And of course, I'll be sure to include timestamps of all the subjects we'll be covering in today's video in the description down below for your pleasure. Let's quickly start off with the commonly asked question I see a lot, and that is the return to the watch face. You see, by default, when you're wearing your Apple Watch, right? Whenever you launch an app and then you put your wrist down and you go back up, it'll take you back to the watch face. What if you have a timer or you just have an app, you just don't want it to do that? There's a setting you can change to get that, so it actually stays on the app where you were last off. So let me show you. If you go into your settings, in the main setting page, scroll down into General. In General, go down until you find Return to Clock. From here, this is where you could change that setting. So you could change it so after 2 minutes, so once you're in that app, but longer than 2 minutes, it will take you back to the watch face, or an hour. The hour is the longest you could do, but by default, it will be always. So whenever you put your wrist down, it will automatically take you back to the clock. But after an hour, now whenever we launch that app and you put your wrist down and you bring it back up, we're going to still resume where we last left off. This is super helpful, especially when you have map navigation running on your wrists. Now the next one I see a lot of people ask how you can control your television with your Apple Watch, because built into your Apple Watch is the Apple Remote app. You'll find it on your list of apps. It'll honestly just be a remote icon, but since there's so many apps, it's kind of hard to find it, but it'll be in the R category. And the icon looks like this if you have the grid view enabled. When you select this, as long as you're on the same internet connectivity as your smart TV or your Apple TV, when you select this, you'll be able to control your television off your Apple Watch. This is super useful, especially when you have situations where you can't find a remote. And if you long hold over here, you can also use dictation to talk to Siri with the Apple TV to like do quick searches and stuff like that. And if you tap these dots, you also have other tools here, including the power off or on tool as well, which is quite nice. And you can also change TV sources from here as well. But your pause and play and your capability to swipe is all right here. And if you have a smart TV that supports HomeKit, if you launch it on your iPhone remote, you should also see it on your Apple Watch too, but I'm bringing up my TV on my iPhone because my Wi-Fi settings in the house is being set up right now, so it's not going to work on the Apple Watch. But by default, you'll have a drop-down menu where you can select between the Apple TV or the Smart TV that supports HomeKit. And in here, once you select it, you have the ability to turn off the TV from here as well. Super powerful stuff. Again, it's just not showing on my Apple Watch because my network's being set up right now. The only two requirements if you have an Apple TV, you have to make sure HDMI. And for those who have a smart TV, you need to make sure it's on the same Wi-Fi network as your Apple device. Now for the Smart Stack, this has been enabled on watchOS 27 as well as watchOS 26 for a while now. But if you don't want the Smart Stack to constantly change throughout the day, you can fix it. If you'd like to fix this, you need to go into your Apple Watch settings. On this main page, scroll down until you see Smart Stacks. In the Smart Stack, this is where you can adjust the live activities if you like it to show up or not, like your DoorDash and such. But if you exit out here and go widget suggestion, this is where you could disable the auto widget suggestion. This way, it no longer just changes every single time and add widgets. Now, whenever you tap edit, the widgets you add when you tap plus will be permanent and will stay. This includes first party as well as third party apps. But my favorite one of them all, if you do have the suggestion running, is if you go back into edit, you could remove these 3 hot apps and you could change it to something else. And as you saw earlier, I was able to have the Smart TV remote right there. This way, every time I bring in my Smart Stack, I have my remote control right here, easy to access. Now when replying to a text message, on the bottom, you know you have your suggestions right here. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually change it to some custom ones. As you see, I have some custom ones right there. I just do that just to be funny. You could add more or remove them. So if you like to do this, simply bring out your phone and launch the Apple Watch app. From here, go into all apps and go into the message app. In the message app, scroll down to default replies. And this is where you can add some more additional ones. So you can add stuff like dope, yeah, I'll be there, and then hit check mark. And if you go back to the watch, now as you're making that reply on the very bottom, you'll see those new ones you added. And you just tap and it'll quickly make those replies. Now the Apple Watch does have a built-in web browser. It's just difficult to launch. You can either ask Siri to launch like certain websites like google.com, but on these newer versions of Siri with Siri AI, it doesn't work that way. Whenever you ask it to launch google.com, it will launch it on your phone. What you need to do is either text yourself a link or email yourself a link and just bookmark that link. So I'm literally just gonna text myself this URL link and hit send. And I'll be able to find it right here where I can select it and then click on that URL. It'll immediately launch the website right there off my wrist. So with google.com, I can enter basically any URL and just browse the internet from here. This could be wiki or calendar events for like a high school or something like that as an example. And then real quick folks, if you've been enjoying this video so far, like to support the channel, if you can kindly take 2 seconds to hit that like button and like, that really does help with the channel, as that allows the channel to be powered by you guys, the viewers, which is why you'll see brand sponsorship segments in my videos taking like a minute or 2 off your time. Thanks to you guys by just hitting that like button and like, allows the channel to be driven and powered from you, not brands. So thank you so much for those that took the time on doing that. Let's carry on. Now the next thing I like to go ahead and show you is how to offset the time on your iPhone from your Apple Watch, because traditionally some business people actually do this. They like to have their watch like 5 minutes ahead. This way they're always in advance to their meetings and such like that. You could do that on the Apple Watch, and it's not how you think about it. You do not need to do anything on your iPhone to change this. In order to get this to be offset from the time on your iPhone, go into your Apple Watch settings, scroll down until you find clock. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is, the clock tab. Click on this, scroll all the way down, and you'll see right here where it says offset. From here, you can add up to 5 minutes or more. Hit check mark, and now the time is different from your iPhone, as now it says it's 1:59. If I go back to the main page, it's kind of hard to see with that hand blocking. But if I switch to a different watch face, you'll see it does say 1:59 when it's really 1:54. So that's how you can quickly do that. Another setting I like to go ahead and show you is the grandfather clock effect. If you enable chimes, every hour your Apple Watch will give you a haptic feedback letting you know that an hour has gone by. I like having this feature on due to the fact that it's hard for me to lose track of time. Now, a feature that a lot of people get irritated is whenever you have CarPlay running and you have navigations, right, with Apple Maps, your Apple Watch will still give you a haptic feedback when your turn is approaching or when you make the turn. So you're being notified on not just on your watch, but also on your CarPlay head unit. You could disable that so only your vehicle will give you a notification. All personal preference, but this does become annoying because sometimes I think I'm getting a text message or an incoming call. If you like to disable this, go whip out your phone, and we're going to need to go back to our iPhone app. In here, scroll down until you find apps. In the apps, go into Apple Maps, and from here, this is where you could disable the turn driving alerts right here. Typically, I just have all of them off, but you could decide if you wanted to be enabled only for cycling, walking, but driving with CarPlay, I'll disable that, and driving in general, I'll disable that. This way I don't get notified in 2 different spots all at once. Now this next one is for those who are also irritated with the stand reminder. Go into settings, scroll down until you find the activity tab right in here. And then this is where you go in and physically turn that off. You can also disable the daily coach too if you don't like those notifications. Now for somebody who listens to a lot of music and you like to store it on your Apple Watch storage, because these newer Apple Watches do have up to 32 and I believe 64 gigs too if you're on the Ultra 3 internal storage. So there's a lot of storage, so you can save your entire music playlist and listen to your music with headphones, Bluetooth headphones of course, and stream it directly from the built-in storage on your watch. If you like to store music, simply go on your iPhone. On this page, once again, go down until you find the music in the apps category. Go into the music app, and from here, you can hit add music, and it will go through your music library, go based off your playlist, artists, and but once you find one that you enjoy, hit this little icon right here, and it will automatically offload it and store it on your Apple Watch. You could do the exact same thing when it comes to storing offline maps on your Apple Watch as well. Select your profile picture, and then in here, just select offline maps. And then from here, just select offline maps, and then just make sure you have synchronize with Apple Watch enabled. And that's how you can utilize the internal storage of your Apple Watch. Other than that, there you guys have it. Those are a handful of cool features your Apple Watch can do to give you the best Apple Watch experience. If you guys enjoyed, like to watch more, highly recommend checking out this video next to me right over here, where I go through all the tips and tricks and hidden features you could do on CarPlay side of things. I show you a bunch of cool stuff, including how to disable the auto play music whenever you get in your car and start it up. I show you how to turn that off in that video over there. Thank you so much for watching.